Yo guys, what is going on and welcome back to another Star Wars video. Now in today's video we're going to talk about the open world Star Wars game that is rumoured to be able to take on GTA 5, Assassin's Creed and Batman. Now basically this Star Wars game is actually rumoured to be an open world game, and we've had an update from EA saying that the biggest segment in the industry is actually action games, and at the moment EA doesn't have much to really compete with the likes of Assassin's Creed, Grand Theft Auto and the Batman Arkham series. So they've said that they're going to put into motion a game, an action game, which has not been done at all before. So everyone's been thinking, with EA and EA's biggest thing at the moment with action is actually Battlefield, everyone's been thinking that it's actually an open world Battlefield game. But apparently Battlefield 5 is actually looking like a standard Modern Warfare sort of Battlefield 4 type game. And with that being said, it's going to be pretty much similar to Battlefield 4 rather than Battlefield Hardline. It's going to be just your sort of up-to-date, modern-day type shooter. It's not going futuristic, it's not going to the past, it's just keeping with what they've been doing and what's been really successful for them, and keeping with modern times and just rolling with that for the next few games. But at the moment, it's a very good indication that EA are actually moving towards an open world Star Wars game. Now, everyone's thinking this because EA are actually heavily invested in Star Wars for the next 10 years. And Disney are also heavily invested in Star Wars for the next 40 years. So whether that means that we'll see a brand new Star Wars game from EA for the next 10 years, I don't know. Maybe they'll release one every 2 years, to make sure they've put everything they possibly can think of and made the game the best they can. Or maybe they'll actually work with other companies to produce a really high quality Star Wars game every year for the next 10 years. So that could be 10 potential high quality Star Wars games in the next 10 years. I mean, that's actually insane to think that we're going to be getting 10 Star Wars games or even 5 Star Wars games over the next 10 years. It's going to be absolutely incredible, especially with DLCs. They can do so much with DLCs, and there's so many characters and so many stories which they can actually run off into, that it's just incredible to actually think that that could happen. Now, Disney actually have movies planned every year for the next 40 years, so we're going to be seeing 40 brand new Star Wars stories and movies over the next 40 years. And that could mean that EA maybe use these movies to publicise their games a lot more, or maybe actually base their games off the stories that we're going to see in the Disney movies over the next 40 years. 40 movies is actually incredible for a Star Wars fan, and 10 games is even more incredible for a Star Wars fan. It's going to be absolutely insane to be a Star Wars fan for the next 40 or so years. Now, the article I'm talking about actually mentions EA Motive. Now, that's apparently a name which everyone should remember because it's a new sort of developing company for games under EA, so that might really blow up with these next 10 years. Who knows what they're going to do, but it's really exciting times ahead. Now, EA Motive's actually headed by an ex-Ubisoft developer who has worked on Assassin's Creed. Now, that's really exciting and that's really good news, because Assassin's Creed, although the games have started to go downhill story-wise over the past few years, the open world action and adventure is just top notch. It's one of the ones which hasn't really been rivaled with over the past few years. Well, you could say it's been rivaled with GTA 5 and Batman, but at the same time they're all completely different games. To have an ex-Ubisoft developer working on a brand new EA company and developing company for games which could be Star Wars is really, really exciting. And now what EA Motive are actually doing, getting a lot of companies involved with the Star Wars open world game project and just make the game absolutely huge and open world to be able to compete with Grand Theft Auto 5. Because we all know GTA is actually the #1 selling game of all time right now, and it easily surpasses a lot of movies. Before the Star Wars game to be able to fully take on GTA 5, it would have to have an online section, an online component, if you want to call it that. Now, the way I think they could easily do this is to have it a bit like Elder Scrolls Online, where there is a lot of online constantly, and maybe do it like the Star Wars Old Republic computer online game. Now if they did that, I think it would be really exciting to have it on console, because the Star Wars Old Republic game on PC is actually incredible. I've played a lot of it, and it is just so fun to actually play, and you can play with your friends, you can just do so much on it. But personally, I do feel that Star Wars could easily take on Assassin's Creed and Batman, especially with the new films coming out, The Force Awakens, and next year Rogue One. With these films coming out, it's only going to bring in new fans. It's going to bring in a lot more people to the Star Wars sort of universe, which really means Star Wars does have a massively bright future. And with all these fans behind it, I definitely think an open world Star Wars game could take on Assassin's Creed and the Batman Arkham series, especially with the Batman Arkham series pretty much finishing off with Arkham Knight. Now the question on everyone's minds now is probably when will we see the game? And it would make a lot of sense for the game to piggyback off one of the films. If you were the lead marketing expert in the company, you would say, release the game around the time of a film, like they're doing with Star Wars Battlefront. So maybe we could see this game coming about next year, or maybe the year after. Like I've said, Disney have films for the next 40 years, so if we don't see this game next year, we'll definitely see it the year after, but it will be probably released around the time of a film, which will probably say be the end of 2016 or the end of 2017. Now EA Motive as well are going to work on a standalone game after this Star Wars open world game, and maybe this could be another Star Wars game, maybe they're going to bring out a whole new game series, I don't really know, but it would be exciting to think that they're going to keep bringing out new game series to be able to compete with other games that are currently dominating the market. So guys, that's it for this video. Now I want to know in the comment section what you want to see. Do you want to see this Star Wars open world game, and if so, what do you actually want in it? Or do you want to see something completely different in an open world game, something completely brand new, something just completely invented by EA? Other than that guys, smash a like on this video if you've enjoyed it and found it entertaining and informative. Subscribe to join the Axrora Alliance and keep up to date with all Star Wars news, from games to movies. Other than that, we'll see you again soon, and may the Force be with you.